Welcome to Dork Lords, Season 6, Episode 5 of Game of Thrones, entitled The Door. And just right off, Amber, gonna say, we predicted two thematic things in this show that actually showed up. You, of course, were on site to see the white trees.
The trees, I was part of that scene, yes.
Which we talked about it. You were somewhere in there. You were one of the little children of the forest.
I was way outside of the forest, but yes, technically I saw the trees.
But you saw the trees. Did you see the zombies?
I saw a giant tree being carried on a large flatbed truck.
Were there extras as well? Like,
no, nothing like that. I just saw the tree being brought.
But we said there would be giant white trees sometime this season, and there they were. Boom.
Done.
The other thing, our review of Episode 2, I believe at the 9-minute and 30 mark, which I'll probably put up here somewhere just to show you, I said, Hodor, I'll bet you his name maybe comes from some traumatic event where someone said, hold the door. That's what happened. So I win the internet. I have won the internet. Spoilers. Okay, anyway, yes, so we collectively, Dork Lords, win the internet for this week. So we've done that. Awesome.
Good job.
So yeah, it was. So okay. Anyway, that was obviously the climactic moment in this episode.
Yes.
It was an odd episode in some ways in that very rarely do you have an episode that sticks with one point of view for a long time. I mean, some episodes do, but most of the time it's like a few minutes here, a few minutes there. Da, da, da. This one, like the last half hour or so, was like we're with Bran
and Hodor
and Hodoring.
And now poor Hodor is gone, and I'm very sad about that. I don't know why they had to kill him. He didn't do anything but carry Bran around, and he was a sweet guy. And something that's been annoying me, they call him Willis in the show, but in the book his name is Walder. Right. Why couldn't they have just kept his name Walder in
There's
the
a
show?
Walder Frey, yeah? Maybe they were worried
But
that two Walders, I don't know.
Multiple names.
Willis does sound odd.
It sounds stupid. That's dumb.
It is dumb.
Thank you, producer Steve. As we did before with our What You Talking About Willis thing.
Yeah.
So what we've got is...
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this show based off the book?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they chose a different name?
They just said, yes, hell with it, his name's Willis.
I don't understand why.
So we had actually several significant deaths, like all in a row there, right when the Night King comes in and is they're just wreaking havoc at the tree. So you had the Three-Eyed Raven dead. So that's Bran's master gone. Yet another direwolf down. We were just talking a couple weeks about these direwolves. Well, there's only a few of them left. Well, now there's one less because Bran's dog Summer
is gone.
Kind of a needless sacrifice, too. I mean, I get it. It's a dog. You're like, oh, you're trying to hurt my master.
It's like they're trying to build up to Snow being the lone wolf.
Just died.
He's going to be the
Ghost.
ruler. Or Ghost is going to be the ruler of all the dire wolves or something. Like, what? Why did they have to keep killing? But still, like you pointed out, we still have... Yeah, she's still roaming around somewhere out there, wild.
Maybe there'll be a giant pack will come and destroy the world or something. But, so we lost Summer. We lost Three-Eyed Raven. We lost Hodor. And Hodor's death.
Don't you kind of blame Bran?
Yeah, yes. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Bran's culpability,
fault.
right? I mean, he ruined this guy's life.
Yes.
Willis.
Because he wanted to stick around to watch his dad some more, and he kept hearing the voices telling him, come out. He heard the Three-Eyed Raven tell him, you need to go back to your friends, listen to your friends. And he just refused. And because he did that, he ruined Hodor's brain.
Like 30 years.
Yeah. Then he ended up getting him murdered because he refused to leave.
It was awful. I mean, so Willis is like a 15-year-old, well-adjusted boy. We get the idea that he's like, oh, I'm a stable boy. Things are happy here at Winterfell. I just love my job. And for 30 years, and then, now I can do what I was destined to do, die. Yay! That's a great chalk one up for Bran.
Pathetic death, and it's all because Bran is being selfish.
So my thought is, because I don't think Bran is a horrible person. I think Bran is going to feel so guilty about this that he is going to, at least for a time, for a few episodes, maybe refuse to dream walk or whatever you want to call it, the green sea, because he's going to think, look what I did. I ruined this guy's life.
And his dog.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I think there'll be some ramifications for him to be like, ooh, every time I do this, I have a potential to really screw things up.
He's still so young and naive that he'll think that if he just goes back, he can start trying to change something.
I mean, do you think? You tell me. I don't think that he's going to do this, but do you think? Are we seeing Bran in a Star Wars reference going to the dark side?
No, not dark side, but I think he's going to go back in time and try to change something. Because it was clear that Hodor saw him when he was in that vision, and that's how Hodor's brain was.
So that's what. So we think that Hodor's brain was ruined when he saw the future.
Control over things in the past. I think he's going to try to go and change something in the past, to try to set everything right. And he's going to end up doing way more damage than...
But as we did hear from Three-Eyed Raven in an earlier episode, he said, look, the ink is dry. In other words, like, time is already written. You can't change it. Which is a little weird because he wouldn't change it. Because he changed it, but he changed it because maybe it was always that way. Because Hodor was already Hodoring. Like, he didn't...
Maybe.
You know, I don't know. It's a little weird.
I
will say this. It's a pet peeve of mine in most non-comedic stories. When you introduce time travel, it's a real danger because you're really suddenly all the stakes kind of start getting pushed aside. Like, oh my God, something horrible happened. Oh, I'll just go back in time and fix it. Oh, great. Well, that was nice.
But don't you feel like that's kind of where they're gonna do something where Bran's gonna try to fix something in the past? I really
hope they don't. I don't know, but. You're right. I mean, he's got the ability now. We've seen it twice. He affected his dad. He's like, Dad! I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel like that's where they're building towards, is that he's going to try to change something.
So I'm not a big fan of the future of that situation, if that's the case. But I did like, in this setting, it was really impactful. Like, oh my God, how horrible.
The person who just
laid
down and then set off a bomb, the suicide bomber, that was actually
okay, another Star Wars reference.
Cool.
The Children of the Forest have thermal detonators. It was like straight out of Star Wars. She's got this little globe, and she's like, "Oh, I'll just get the zombies around me." And
she just laid down peacefully and just let it happen, and then she exploded the place.
It was kind of like out of a Walking Dead moment because it's like zombies just picking at her flesh, and she's sitting there with this little thing going like a light, and then boom.
Yeah.
But so I guess we're sticking on this because this was the major highlight of the show.
Why did she run away?
Because she was trying to buy for time.
Bran time to get away.
But that's a good point, though, producer Steve, because so she sacrifices herself. I think her name is Leaf. Mm-hmm. Leaf or
something like
Groot
that.
Or Groot. No. Groot. All right. So she sacrifices herself with a thermal detonator to give Bran more time to escape. Summer, his direwolf, sacrifices herself to give Bran a little more time to escape. Hodor holds the door and then promptly gets killed to give Bran more time to escape. Like, that's a lot of people sacrificing themselves for this guy.
Yeah.
Like,
they have a lot of faith in him, and I can't even see what his storyline's going to be there.
Yeah, like
he's going to impact the world, why he's so important to the world.
Everyone in that context agreed internally that he was more important than they were. Mm-hmm. They were like, oh yeah, no, we got to save Bran. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just sit here and die. Like, that's a big choice to make, right? I mean, I don't know. Plus, he was controlling Hodor for part of that time. That's almost a little weird too. Like, Hodor, hold the door for me and die.
Yeah.
Although I don't think he was warged at the time he was holding the door.
No, at the time he was.
So he wasn't necessarily under control, but still, it's a little weird. It's like he's more important than you.
Moment where he figured out what happened to himself, like Hodor did, like things were making sense. He seemed very peaceful. Okay. Like that's what his purpose was to always take care of Bran.
I mean, why didn't Bran hold the door for Hodor? I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what makes...
I said Bran should have woken up a lot sooner than he did. Instead, he keeps staying in these visions, and he's causing all these problems, and now all these people are dead because he refused to get out of the vision.
Maybe Bran's going to try to go back in time to that when he gets pushed out of the window by Jaime Lannister and gets crippled. He's going to be like, you know what? Screw that. I got legs. Maybe. I'm gonna crawl back down that tower. I saw horrible things up there. I'm not going to talk about it.
Hopefully.
I don't. Anyway, so that was a huge part of the episode. But let's talk about some of the other smaller parts of the episode because there were some other interesting things that happened in the first half. I have something that is based on a prediction, another prediction, which weeks from now I'll be like, okay. So it's the Daenerys talking to Jorah, and it's kind of a touching scene where she's like, "Look, I order you to go find a cure for yourself
and
come back." Mm-hmm. So he's revealed, "Oh yeah, I've got this stone skin,
grayscale.
And I'm going to turn into a horrible person soon, and you probably shouldn't come too close to me. I might touch you and do horrible things."
Turn to stone and evil.
So she's like, "Okay, great. I order you to go and find a cure," and he ostensibly leaves to go find a cure. All right. So here's my prediction. He is going to go, again, I have no reason for knowing this other than just, this is my guess. He's going to go try to find a cure with the Maesters. He's going to run into Sam Tarly, who we know is on his way to be a Maester. Sam spent part of last season chatting with Shireen and Stannis. Shireen had grayscale and was cured of it. Sam's going to be like, "Oh yeah, I know that one person who had a cure." Anyway, that's going to come back around. They're going to save Jorah that way. And now Sam will have a connection to Jorah. Jorah has a connection to Daenerys. There's going to be a tie-in somehow that way.
Okay.
That's my prediction. I'm just throwing it out there.
That makes sense.
Clink. All right, thank you. Amber backs me up on that
one.
What did you think of the little play within a play? Arya watching the play version of her dad.
I feel like he sent her to kill this person, so that actress is she paid to have the other actress killed.
Yeah, it's an actress paying an actress to
I think he wanted
killed.
Arya to go and see this play so she could learn more information about things that happened after she left Westeros, because she's pretty much been in the dark since the Hound died. She hasn't.
Should you know about Sansa and marrying Tyrion?
Right, she hasn't.
Of course, the depiction of Tyrion in that play is pretty bad.
The depiction of a lot of people in that play is really bad.
Yeah, Ned is like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
Yours.
That was a disturbing play, but I felt like he sent her there so she could learn more about what's happening, because I think he has a soft spot for her.
That's interesting. I thought of it as he sent her there to test if she was still a Stark. Like,
that too.
You know, you're supposed to be nobody. You're supposed to pretend to be like a nobody. If I put you in this world, are you going to be like, or are you going to be able to carry out your mission?
And she proved that she can carry out her mission. I mean, she
was
for
still
a minute, but
I feel like she is still a Stark, though.
Well, I don't think she's
never
going to stop being a Stark, no matter how hard she trains, and the training needs to end already. We've said this for like 3 episodes.
Yes.
The training scenes are just ridiculous.
Move on.
We get it. She's
Please.
training.
She did another stick fight. All right. She's marginally better at stick fighting now.
Pretty much.
Yay. It's still. Thank you, producer Steve. Interesting point on what you just said, though. This isn't a prediction because I don't think this will happen, but I'm going to throw it out there as like a possibility. She just saw this little enacted play where Tyrion was this horrible person that more or less like sexually assaulted her sister. What if she meets up with Tyrion at some point? Because she's overseas, he's overseas. What if like she saw him and then was like, "You're that horrible Lannister. I want to kill you now. I'll add you to my list." I don't know.
But she doesn't have a list anymore.
Inside her head, she does.
She does, but I don't think that she'll.
Tyrion's not on it, but he could be. Is my point.
He could be, but I think that she would. I don't know. I don't see her wanting to kill Tyrion. I think she might have some anger towards him.
Hopefully, she wouldn't take that play at face value.
I don't think she would kill him.
I mean, she knows for a fact that, for instance,
I think she's good about doing what she's ordered to do and not to do.
And the depiction of Joffrey in there is like, "I'm just a good boy," when he's like the most evil thing on the planet, and she knew that, so she's like, "Okay, that part of that play isn't true," and obviously the depiction of my dad is way untrue, so the depiction of Tyrion's probably not true.
Yeah, I think she was more heartbroken about the depiction of her father than about the events that they were portraying. Yeah, but
because she was there. I mean, she saw the beheading, so she's like reliving it. Oh my god! Which actually, here's a little tie-in. Okay. In the beginning of the episode, we have Arya witnessing the past in in this play, and then we have Bran witnessing the past through his visions. So it's kind of a little time where the two siblings are seeing a depiction of the past. All right, there you go. Anyway, boom. Just throw that in there. Whatever. Yeah.
They are.
They
Yeah.
are. We saw introducing. I just made up a new word.
Introducing.
The introduction of a new character.
Introducing.
Which the show needs new characters. It's one thing because they don't have enough.
There's not enough people.
There's really not enough characters to get there. But so we see like Melisandre 2.
Yeah.
The new red priestess that shows up.
Yeah, and I don't know. The whole witch thing, I find that disturbing. I don't like them.
Okay.
Because I don't know what their ultimate purpose is. They just keep following. One leader dies, they find the next leader. But they
Right.
all claim that they were the chosen one.
Right.
And
right.
so now she's claiming Daenerys is. I feel like having her around is just going to be a way for Daenerys to die.
To die.
Like now
Like,
she's there.
oh, you got
Daenerys
somebody
is
who
gonna
believes
die.
in you? Yeah, you probably.
Yeah, and so I'm not comfortable with that because I feel like they just bring bad luck with them.
They do.
Because every
right.
person that Melisandre has followed has died.
Yep. No. Yeah.
And
yeah.
she claims that they're the chosen one. That they're the one that, it's always supposed to have been you. The omens speak of it. And so now Daenerys is
They're
one of them.
really bad at reading omens.
Yeah.
They're like,
And like their only depiction, their only criteria is can they,
probably you.
can,
Producer
something
Steve, you're
about
the chosen
fire,
one.
born from fire. Because she was truly born from fire. So that's why she's the one. I'm thinking, no, you're going to kill Daenerys. You're here. Daenerys is going to die now because you exist.
It was an interesting scene with the Varys, kind of showing it. Varys is kind of like, he's the atheist of the group who's like, I don't believe in your stuff.
Well, because
He's God's.
one
And then
of
she's
them-
like, oh yeah? Well, I know exactly what happened in your past. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
And he's like,
because it was part of that whole religion that the guy ended up doing that.
so
to
he
him.
spoke to somebody in the flames, maybe the red god.
I'm really curious what that message was he got. I would like to know what the message was and why they couldn't have told us. It was
Bran,
10
can
words.
you do a flashback and just go show us what happened to Varys?
That would be
Could you
interesting.
use your powers for good and show us things?
Yes, I would like to see more about what people were like and
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go see, Tyrion as a kid. I don't know, whatever.
Littlefinger.
So Littlefinger, the scene with Sansa,
Yes.
that was a pretty impactful scene,
He seems very weak.
right? And she that was really awkward. Where she's like, "Tell me what happened to me,"
It's like forcing
Describe
him to
it.
tell her about her rape.
and I was like, okay, we can, okay, but yeah, that was an odd scene.
Yeah.
I mean, she was asserting, like a
Which is very uncharacteristic of her
Right.
to actually assert power and not be this weak little thing. Like if before he would have said I'm sorry and she would have ran to him and hugged him and said I forgive you.
Yeah. I
So
never
I
want to
think
see you
she's-
again.
yeah.
I think she is going to see him again though, because
Yeah.
she kind of like took his advice a little bit.
I think he's going there as well, and that's where they're going to meet up again.
Yeah,
with
he's
their
like, go
uncle.
see your uncle.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody I
Ring,
told you.
nudge, nudge. Yeah.
Anyway,
So
and she's
they're
like-
all going to meet up at her uncle's, and
and she lies to John about
Mm-hmm.
where she heard that from. I interpreted that as, you can interpret it a lot of different ways. I interpreted it as if she says, "Oh yeah, we should go to my uncle's river run because Littlefinger told me." Then John would be like, "Who? What? Hell no, we're not.
Yeah.
That I don't trust that." Instead, she says, "Oh no, a raven. I picked a note, and that's how I know." So that he would
Littlefinger
believe her.
very well could be playing both sides, and so he's going to go and tell Ramsay that she's heading to her uncle's house. And I feel like that he's just creating
Oh, I definitely think
another
he's
one of
pulling
his
the strings.
situations.
I think he wants to be Warden of the North, and I think he set up that in motion before where he's like, hey, if I can liberate your lands, this is like last season,
Mm-hmm.
where he said, you can make me Warden of the North. I think that's what he's ultimately kind of pushing events towards. And again, another prediction that I made last week, still holding to it. Pink Letter, the letter, written by Littlefinger, not Ramsay. All right, anyway, we'll just see if that comes to pass. But yeah, all right. So that's, I don't know, kind of in a nutshell,
That,
the door.
and then there was another, it's not a big storyline, but Bran sitting on the horse and the wildling,
Oh, yeah.
smiling at her all sweetly.
Yes, Bran has a love interest-ish. this
That
guy
was so
Tormund.
funny.
Every time they're in a scene now, I know there's no dialogue.
No,
There's almost never any
he's
dialogue.
like
It's just
staring at her, and then she sees him staring, and he smiles, and
and then she gets awkward, like, stop looking at me. It's and stop looking. That's the relationship at the moment.
I was cute though. I like that.
It is cute. It is not creepy. It could be creepy.
It could be creepy.
It
but
could
it
play
seems
it
like
creepy, but it's not creepy.
He would bring her flowers.
And we kind of like the character of Tormund.
Flowers
So
he
we're like,
stole from
okay,
the grave.
that's not creepy.
Yeah, I could definitely see him doing something.
I do feel like that's gonna, like, I'm not sure that they're gonna have a relationship, but I feel like somewhere in a battle or something, maybe he sacrifices himself for her or something, or there'll be that kind
It'd
of
be
some
great though if
moment.
they got married and had little half wildling babies.
Sure, yes,
That
we'll
would
have
be awesome. I
the
just like that
wedding.
in it
That'll be the wedding episode. Hopefully not a red wedding.
Because she's another one who keeps following different leaders, and then that leader dies.
Yeah, she is as bad luck
She's
a charm
another-
as the red
Yes.
priestess. Like,
So now I'm concerned that Sansa's going to die because
they got a red
protecting
priestess and Brienne. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a double whammy.
John and Sansa.
You're in borrowed time when you have two giant bad luck charms
Yeah.
hanging around your neck.
They
All right.
really are. Just,
Albatross 1, Albatross 2. Oh, God,
Yeah.
please. No more followers.
that was the episode. I'd give it a B.
A B? Okay.
I'd say
That Hodor thing, it was for such a small character in many ways. A character who's not going to really affect the outcome of the show.
But who doesn't love
It was
Hodor?
really touching.
He
Really
was
touching.
just a sweet, gentle giant.
Yeah.
Remember the first time we saw him taking a bath in the lake?
Right, that was weird. Now, I mean, please, we're not going to see him come back as a walker or white or something, are we? I hope not.
I don't know.
Because he technically would be now.
He could
He's
be.
joined the ranks of the undead, but he could.
I hope
I'd
the
rather-
writers aren't stupid enough to do that.
Yeah, that would be neat.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, don't, no.
It's like Walking Dead reference. Whenever they kill off a character, and then that character, like for the first couple of seasons, would come back as a walker, and then it's like ruining your
Right,
feeling for that person.
destroys the memory.
Yeah, like could you imagine seeing Herschel as a walker? And, sorry to go off on a segue in The Walking Dead,
so yeah, we don't want
I
to see
hope
that.
they
We don't want to
don't
see
make him a
Hodor
White
as a walker.
No,
So let Hodor be Hodor.
let him just rest in peace.
Hodor, hold the door.
Yes.
All right, awesome. That's it for Dork Lords. We'll see you next week. Thanks, Amber.
Bye bye.
Bye.